Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? January 3rd, 2025. And actually, it's a pretty special day in history. This is the birth date of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was developed, actually launched on January 3rd, 2009. So happy birthday to Bitcoin. Um, and I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin tonight because I did a video recently about how Warren Buffett thinks Bitcoin's going to zero and Jamie Dimon thinks Bitcoin is going to zero. In fact, Jamie Dimon says it's like a pet rock. Bitcoin's like a pet rock and it's going to zero. And then he further says he's not going to comment on it anymore on CNBC. He just doesn't feel like it's worth it. He doesn't want to talk about it. But the thing these guys, people like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett, they count on people being stupid and ignorant, and that people don't understand the economy and people don't understand money, and that they think they can just keep on using the dollar, print it forever, and everybody's just going to never figure out that they're just lining their pockets with money, and the rest of us are getting poorer and poorer and poorer by the day. And they just expect us to accept that and live with that. But Jamie Dimon isn't exactly a young man, and neither, of course, Buffett's well into his 90s. Both these guys don't realize that we are living in an information age. And if there's anything that we've had, there's a lot of things against us today. The economy's bad, no jobs, no nothing like that. But the one thing we do have is we have a lot of information. And if you are good about it and you know how to research, you can find a lot of things out. And people are discovering how corrupt our financial system is and how people like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett have taken advantage of it, made themselves into billionaires, and now they want to keep everybody else just poor, and they want to continue to make their money, make their billions. So, and Bitcoin is probably one of the only things that the everyday ordinary person can get their hands on, have huge appreciations, and outlast these guys, make it so they can actually exist in this world of the economy that people like Buffett and Jamie Dimon have ruined. So that's why they hate Bitcoin. And they just continue to count on the fact that people are dumbed down in schools, dumbed down by the what they've been taught, dumbed down by the college professors, and now we can all just accept their thing is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a pet rock, and it's going to go to zero, and it's never going to last. But what we have discovered is human beings and people that are researching and thinking and going out and doing the work to know what's going on. We figured out with the system that they have today can't last. It won't last. It's going to die. I knew this back in the early 90s when I read the book of Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. I knew the system was going to collapse back then. But back then, the only thing you had to kind of keep yourself from going down with the system was, buy gold or silver or maybe some real estate, hard assets that you could maybe set on and why the things get appreciated. But you didn't have Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's superior to all those others. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that Bitcoin is superior. And they don't want you to know that Bitcoin gives you a chance in today's world to maybe at least exist or at least stay ahead of the game. And that's why people like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett just continue to berate and knock Bitcoin because they think you're dumb and they don't think you're going to figure it out. And they don't like people knowing what's really going on. And, it's funny when I read that book from G. Edward Griffin from Jekyll Island, I'd been a college graduate. In fact, I was a accounting major. And I knew a little bit about the economy and took money in banking classes. And I got taught nothing about the Federal Reserve. I got taught nothing about the money inflation and how they did that. It was just all big. It was just all a big, a lot of stuff to memorize or do that multiple choice tests and just the stuff that didn't really give you any of the truth. But when I read that book, it was actually kind of conspiracy kind of talk that the Federal Reserve did what they did and how they did it. It was, if you told that to people, they would think, yeah, you're a conspiracy guy. All you think is the Federal Reserve prints this money out of thin air and there's nothing backing it. There's not gold at Fort Knox and all this other stuff. They just, nobody ever really questioned it. Like I say, I took money in banking in college. I never could understand what was going on with the banking system. They taught nothing about the way the system really works. But if you just do just a casual search on the internet, you're going to figure it out. And everybody knows it. And everybody says it. People say it in the comments. People say it in videos. They say the system's going to crash. It's not going to exist. And that's why I think that, Donald Trump's trying to get a little bit real with people. Not that I'm a Donald Trump supporter. He's trying to get a little bit real with people. And that's why he's gotten so much support. And that's why he's the president-elect or president coming into office very soon. That's why he's got the House and the Congress, and that's why the judges are following him. Everybody's following him because he's trying to get real with the people a little bit. And he's trying to tell you, hey, we need a Bitcoin reserve. We need something besides our US dollar as for our nations to be strong, to have our economy to be strong. We better start putting some of this money into Bitcoin. And that's a telling thing that's going on right now. And like I say, he's trying to get real with people about a lot of stuff. And like I say, I don't agree with all his policies, and I'm certainly not someone that voted for Trump, and I'm certainly not a MAGA guy. So I'm not saying this because I'm supporting Trump. I'm just saying this because I think he's accurate in what he's doing, and I think he's trying to be real with people, and he understands people aren't all dumb, and a few people are trying to figure it out, and that hey, you better start telling the people the truth. If you don't tell people the truth, then people are just gonna basically do what happened with Joe Biden. It's just he's a joke. We don't listen to him. World leaders don't deal with him. Nobody asks him to any parties. I mean, they isolate him because he's a joke. He's a joke. He's been a joke for years, and that's why they lost the election, and that's why they'll continue to lose any election that they have in the future, because what they're doing is just preposterous. They just expect people to be dumb and just, we got this babbling guy up here that can't tell the difference between Putin and Zelensky, and he's getting the two confused. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff we had, and that's why Trump won. It was inevitable he was going to win. I knew he was going to win right away. I knew he was going to win a long time ago. Certainly after Biden started really doing a lot of stumbling around and couldn't really figure anything out. And then when they put Kamala Harris up, and she has no plan. She had no plan whatsoever. I knew Trump was going to win. I knew 100%. And the first time Trump was in office, he didn't really push Bitcoin. In fact, he was an anti-Bitcoiner. He said he likes the dollar, he doesn't like the Bitcoin, but he knows people are smarter than that. So he's flipped his opinions. Now he's become a Bitcoin supporter, and he's wanting to put U.S. money into Bitcoin reserve and have a Bitcoin reserve for the U.S. government. That's what is going to happen. And that's why people like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett are just behind the times, and they just need to quit talking. And I think maybe Jamie Dimon has decided he is going to quit talking. Said he wasn't going to talk about Bitcoin anymore on CNBC. So the direction we're going is Bitcoin. I think it's the only direction we can go, because you got to have something that has a limited amount of supply. You can't have this unlimited dollar thing, where whenever the Congress needs money, they just print it up. Whenever the country needs money, we just print it up. And sure, there's some full faith in the government is being supported. I mean, the currency is being supported by the people, and everything that the people do to create an economy that supports the dollar and makes the dollar strong. But you can't keep on printing this stuff forever and keep getting people to accept it for real world things. Other countries are not going to accept our currency anymore if we just keep printing it and printing it and printing it and printing it. And that's why you're going to have to probably link it somehow to Bitcoin. And I think that's what Donald Trump's going to do. He's going to probably link the currency to Bitcoin. And if he does that, that's going to make Bitcoin very valuable. So, yeah, I think the only play here for the near future and for the long-term future of this country and for the world is to start investing in Bitcoin. And even though there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever to be mined, that still doesn't mean Bitcoin has a cap on how much it can go, how high it can go. I mean, there's a cap on the supply, but there's not a cap on the price. The price can go unlimited, and that's where it probably could be. I mean, in my lifetime, and I'm not a young guy, I would expect that Bitcoin be well into the millions of dollars of Bitcoin, well into the millions. I mean, it's already made six figures. It's 100,000. So, I mean, I'm looking for Bitcoin to be millions and millions and millions, and probably in the future it'd be more. Maybe 10 million, 20 million. It could be, there's no cap on the price of Bitcoin. Now, one Bitcoin can go as high as people will pay for. And when people realize that it's the only solution for the monetary problems that we have, and we just can't have this paper money that has absolutely nothing behind it. We can't continue to bank on that, because that's just going to, people are figuring it out. People have already figured it out. It's all over the internet. It's all over everybody talks about it. Every time I make a video that has anything to do with the currency, everybody says, yeah, the dollar's dead. And if you don't do something besides the dollar, the country's going to be dead. And all countries are going to be dead. Only one that's really figured it out is El Salvador, because they're using Bitcoin as their currency. So anyway, happy birthday to Bitcoin. I appreciate you watching. and hopefully get another video tomorrow night. Bye.